Technologies enthusiasts received some pretty big news recently, since Denmark decided to build a $34 billion artificial wind energy island. According to sources, this huge investment will give Denmark big advantages. I suggest we get right into the video in order to discover more on why do they really need this high of a technology. The artificial wind energy island will be located 50 miles offshore in the North Sea near the Jutland peninsula in the north. Construction of the island is expected to start in 2026. The Danish coalition government has agreed to take a 51% stake in the island. The private sector will hold the remainder. The energy hub will serve as an offshore power plant that gathers and distributes green electricity via the grid from hundreds of wind turbines surrounding the island directly to consumers in countries that border the North Sea. High seawalls were protected on 3 sides from rough North Sea weather, and the 4th side will feature a dock. Denmark will also build an energy hub on the island of Bornholm in the Baltic Sea off Sweden's southern coast. The 2 hubs' initial capacity will be 5 gigawatts, triple the current installed offshore capacity in Denmark. They will later be expanded to provide a total capacity of 12 gigawatts. Denmark has set the cutoff date of 2050 for oil and gas extraction in the North Sea. Denmark has pledged to cut its carbon emission by 70% compared to 1990 levels by 2030 and wants to be carbon neutral by 2050. The Nordic country, which already obtains more than 40% of its electricity from wind power, is home to the world's biggest wind turbine maker, Vestas Wind Systems AS, and the world's top developer of offshore wind parks. The government says public money will be used to pay for at least half the costs of constructing the island. Financing for the wind farms and the transmission systems will be finalized at a later stage. The energy hub in the North Sea will be the largest construction project in Danish history, Dan Jorgensen, the Danish Minister for Climate, said in a statement. It will make a big contribution to the realization of the enormous potential for European offshore wind, and I am excited for our future collaboration with other European countries, he added. The project will now move forward, with Denmark's climate department entering into discussions with potential investors from the private sector. On the political front, conditions of the tender will be negotiated, new legislation passed, and environmental impact assessments carried out. Denmark is something of a pioneer when it comes to offshore wind projects. The world's first offshore wind farm in waters near the Danish island of Lolland was commissioned by Ørsted, the company formerly known as Dong Energy, in 1991. Other Danish firms, such as turbine maker Vestas, are major players in wind power. This massive 1.29 million square foot artificial island, just when in its first phase, will be able to provide 3 million households with green energy. In case you don't know what green energy means, let me introduce you with it real quick. Green energy provides the highest environmental benefit and includes power produced by solar, wind, geothermal, biogas, low-impact hydroelectric, and certain eligible biomass sources. These renewable energy sources enter the power grid and are indistinguishable from conventional energy sources when you flip a light switch or charge your phone. Although renewable energy encompasses the same sources as green energy, this energy more broadly includes technologies and products which can have a considerable impact on both the local and global environment. It's important to understand that the energy you consume will be a mix of green, renewable, and conventional energy, regardless of which product you purchase. This is because all energy sources in the electric grid are mixed together when they enter the power transmission grid. There are many types of green energy coming from a wide variety of sources. Some of these types are better suited to specific environments or regions, which is why there are so many renewable energy that filter into the energy grid. Denmark's Green Island will feature 3 methods to extract this kind of energy. Number 1. Solar energy. Solar is a clean source of energy which comes directly from the sun. Stars, in general, produce an unimaginable amount of energy via nuclear fusion, the process by which smaller atoms are fused together by heat and pressure to create heavier atoms, with a whole lot of energy emitted in the process. This energy then reaches us via solar radiation, which we can collect and convert it into usable electricity. Solar panels are perhaps the most common form of solar energy harvesting. These are panels full of things called photovoltaic cells. When the light from the sun hits these cells, they create an electrical current through the photoelectric effect. The current is then passed through an inverter to turn it into an alternating current. From here, it can be used to power your home or added to the national grid mix. Number 2. Wind energy. Wind energy is actually another energy source powered by the sun. That's because winds are caused by the uneven heating of the atmosphere. This unevenness is affected by the topology of our planet, its spin, and how we orbit around the sun. Winds are further modulated by the surface they are passing over, either land or water. Three-blade wind turbines are most commonly associated with wind power. Unlike solar energy, these work on a rather simple principle. Wind turns the blades of the turbine, which turns an internal rotor. This rotor then moves the main shaft, which spins a generator and creates electricity. Although wind may seem powerful, it is also the most expensive type. Number 3. Hydroelectric energy. Hydroelectric energy is produced by capturing the energy contained within flowing water. This is best achieved by forcing water to flow through a narrow path, thereby increasing its energy per square meter. This is commonly achieved by storing water in a reservoir or dam and selectively purging the water by opening an intake. The gravitational potential energy stored by holding water higher up in the dam forces the water through the intake at incredible speed. When released, the flow spins a turbine, which once again activates a generator, creating electricity. Due to its efficacy, hydroelectricity is one of the most popular forms of green energy. In 2017 alone, it is estimated that 4 billion tons of greenhouse gases were not released into our atmosphere by generating electricity from hydropower. All these investments may raise questions to you on why do we need the green energy so much. The main reason for this is reducing carbon emissions, preventing further environmental harm, and creating jobs are just some of the opportunities provided only by investing in this type of energy. With a $34 billion Green Island investment, Denmark is bringing that future closer. Every day, the sun provides the Earth with more than enough energy to power the entire planet. But there's a problem. The current technologies we have in place are not efficient enough to convert enough of it into electricity, and for many, it's more cost-effective to use other traditional sources. Going green means greater funding to solar, wind, and other renewable energy projects, creating technologies to better harness the renewable sources around us and make them more affordable and accessible to everyone. Traditionally, we have relied on materials such as coal, oil, and even kerosene to provide us with the energy we need. However, these fuels are non-renewable and expel pollution into our environment and atmosphere. As such, these sources will eventually run out, causing fears about shortages and access to them. But what's worse is the environmental harm they inflict. Burning these conventional sources of energy fuels global warming. Coal and oil pour toxic gases into the environment, impacting general health and causing respiratory issues and reducing life expectancies. Simply extracting oil and coal can destroy areas' environments, economies, and livelihoods in the form of devastating oil spills. Green energy will help us mitigate and sidestep at least some of these issues, and the quicker we move to renewable energy sources, the better. So what do you think of Denmark's Green Island investment? I think it's actually bringing us one step closer to the future for real. I think we have already gone to that state where we have understood the everyday harm we are making on planet Earth and its atmosphere. This island, in my opinion, will bring huge benefits, making the planet a better home for both us and the next generations. Electric vehicles, alongside Denmark's Green Island, are the best combination so far. The only downside is that we will have to wait a decade for this project to be up. Before leaving, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button for notifications on our future content. With that being said, see you in the next one.